Well, I think all of us are having that sort of dysphoria because the reality is everybody who's been working from home and able to wear their pajama bottoms to their board meetings, and the all the people that I have talked to, all of my girlfriends are like, I'm never putting on real pants again. I don't
Okay.
this is how did we aspire
La
to
la la
this?
la la
And
la la
and
la.
while
Information.
while I understand deeply that notion, like our goal is to never wear pants again. I don't that makes me sad a little bit on the inside.
I mean, I don't want to get too philosophical on this, but indulge me for a moment. Here's what I think is happening right now. I think we have gone so far in the direction of running ourselves into the ground that it's not so much that we never want to wear pants again because we miss our friends, we miss our routines, we miss going to restaurants, we miss going to concerts, we miss those things, right? And all of those things require us to put on pants. But I think well, hopefully, I mean, like, listen, depends on how long the pants we talking about. Because if it's the right party, you might think I don't have on some pants. But all those things require us to get cute, right? And we still like that. We still feel good about it. But what we're really saying is that 90-minute commute back and forth to the bay to be in a 2-hour meeting can kick rocks. What we're really saying is I want there to be some flexibility. I think honestly, to your point about opening schools, had we found some way other than remote education to do this, I think a lot more people would not be struggling right now, right?
Right.
Because it's not just the being able to work from home. It's nice to wake up at 8:55, brush your teeth, slap your hair around, and be on your 9 o'clock meeting, right? And not have to have been up at 6 a.m. But it would also not be nice sometimes to be able to go and have coffee with a friend and do other things. And so I think capitalism has made all of this challenging for us,
Right.
including the fact that instead of taking a year during a pandemic and just dealing with our own emotional needs, we all still even had to work and had to think about this. So we're trying to just come up with the best of both worlds, which is how do we not end up being just completely taken over by the work that we have to do in order to live and finding some semblance of happiness in it.
And I'm gonna echo you on that. I think that you're absolutely correct. And as a mom and a student and somebody in the sensitive category, I will say that 90% of my time has been spent in my home. I would like to be outside without a mask, and just live a life, But what I think the pandemic did was it flipped a light switch. It made us like see where we were so far off direction and say, are those things that you're doing are truly important, or should you refocus and focus on this? So there is some positive in this pandemic that we can take away from, but man, just get me out the house. Like I want to be able to go out the house without thinking about it, and just socialize. All those kids who are not able to play a sport right now because now we have to have procedures on how to drink from a water bottle, how to breathe the same air, how to tackle, these things matter. Health and wellness is important, and the pandemic, although it gave us some light, it took some things away, and we need to find that balance, that equality, in life, and that's what we need to do. That's
What?
just my little small little piece of it. Pandemic, thank you for allowing us to slow down and take a fresh air. I'm ready to go back now into the wild and, get dressed up, look cute, go to a concert. I'm done.
Well, Miss
What
Kim, I,
I
I would
what I'm
love
afraid
to
of,
have
guys,
experienced the slowed
and
down version of the
I think I get a
pandemic.
word in edgewise. Hi, guys. I'm
Not
gonna
today. Not today,
not
Aaron.
today. Okay, go ahead, Robin.
I was just saying that I would have loved to experience the slowed down version of the pandemic, but having worked in what are been deemed as essential areas for the duration of this time period, I feel like I've worked twice as hard. And I'm super grateful to the fact that my children are older. So I don't have any kids in school right now because I can't even fathom being an essential worker and then having to negotiate that space of parenting and on a 24/7 basis with the academic piece attached to it. So there are certainly areas where we have gotten some very clear notions about what we want for our lives, aka no pants. I'm never wearing another pair of pants with buttons life. Like there are some people who've achieved true clarity in that regard. But I think in other spaces, particularly folks who've had to navigate working from home, there is no off switch because you go straight from out of the kitchen washing the dishes into your 9 o'clock meeting, and then your 9 o'clock meeting ends a few minutes early, so you put a load in the washer to then sit down to your 10 o'clock meeting. And there's this cycle that is pervasive and invasive and has really created a great deal of tension and stress.